This is Sundry News for Friday, August 7th. I realize it is very late. Technically not Friday anymore, but if I say it is, then it is, and I say it is, so it is. We start with the Daily Shapiro. Rioters storm Portland suburb, throw paint on elderly woman, harass another using walker. That would be the elderly woman was using a walker. They didn't use a walker to harass her, most likely. But paint. That's cool. That's assault. Bring it on. NRA counters New York AG's lawsuit with one of its own. Watch AG Barr directs FBI to make U-turn so he can stop and thank pro-police demonstrators. Cool. Nancy Pelosi flips on PBS reporter, accuses her of being an advocate for GOP. Someone sounds paranoid. Wasn't she just recently talking about marijuana being a remedy for the COVID? It's all coming together. I'm speculating here. Obviously, I'm not saying anything. Officer charged in Rayshard Brooks shooting takes action against Democrat Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and police chief. Excellent. More lawyers need to get in on this act, because this is all fucking bullshit. Protect your online privacy with ExpressVPN and listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. That's it for the Daily Wire. That was the Daily Shapiro. I deleted the Daily Wire email because it was all stuff that we've read recently, or was, at least one was something that was included in the Daily Shapiro, so there was no reason to keep them both. The Daily Yahoo. Most of the coronavirus tests the U.S. does are worthless, but there's a solution that could actually work and stop the spread. To stop the raging coronavirus outbreak, which is currently spreading at a rate of about 60,000 new cases per day, the United States can do one of two things. It doesn't identify where this is coming from. Is this Yahoo News itself talking? Or so much fear-mongering. So much fear-mongering. Coronavirus stimulus. There is no leadership from the president, Schumer says amid negotiations with White House. Bullshit. With Congress nearing the end of the second week of negotiations for the next stimulus package without reaching an agreement, Democrats are blaming the delay on President Trump and his party. Sure. Because it's not the Democrats who were being difficult and stalling. TikTok alternatives in U.S. grow 361% after talk of government ban. Good. TikTok competitor apps grew installations by 361% since the White House threatened to remove the Chinese-owned social video app from U.S. marketplaces, according to new data from Sensor Tower. The big four U.S.-based social media apps that are direct competitors to TikTok are Byte, Dubsmash, Triller, and something else. Something else that I really don't care about. Your new checking account. Member FDIC. Whether it's sending money with Zelle, paying with your phone, or depositing a check from home, you can do it all with an everyday checking account. From Wells Fargo Checking. Road safety campaigners welcome UK's first roundabout, which prioritizes cyclists over drivers. Boo. Motorists must give way to pedestrians and to cyclists when joining and leaving the roundabout. Fucking bitch bicycles, cyclists. Zendaya recalls fear for her father's life after shooting deaths of Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. Zendaya told In Style magazine about her experience as a young black woman fearing for her family during this period of increased racial tensions in America. See, this This is the damage that you do to people with this lie. Just saying. You make people's lives scarier because of a lie. The only racial tensions are caused by taking little incidents and blowing them up way out of proportion. If you look at yearly statistics, you would see that Black people are not killed that often by cops. Unless they're like, threatening the lives of the cops. And even that doesn't happen all that often. Los Angeles coronavirus report. Mayor Eric Garcetti contradicts state officials, says underreporting cases has probably gone on for months, not weeks. Just yesterday, California officials said that a technical glitch in the state's reporting system has resulted in an undercount of new coronavirus cases. The state's top health official said on Tuesday that local officials had seen a drop in case numbers over the past blah, blah, blah. Okay. What's their death count? It's probably pretty low. The rate is probably pretty low. Just like it is everywhere, I believe. Stay up to date on coronavirus with Yahoo News. No, thank you. And what's hot? Oh, it's Yahoo Search. Shocking. Trending now, Liliana Lavelle, Scarlett Johansson, coronavirus, Kimberly Guilfoyle, Driver's Ed Online, VoIP Technology, Onion Recall, Barbara Palvin, Bath Fitters, and Lauren Boebert. Oh, we're back to all the people being women. Because Yahoo Search is generally only for searching women for some reason. And last of all, we have 1440. Good morning! It's Friday, August 7th, and we're covering jobs numbers, a high-profile false positive in Ohio, and the potential return of college football. Need to know. Unemployment claims dip. Yay! Just under 1.2 million Americans filed initial unemployment claims last week. Roughly 200,000 less than analysts expected. The figure is the lowest since the panic upended the U.S. economy. Though it still marks the 20th straight week initial claims have exceeded 1 million. Yeah. More than 55 million initial claims have been filed since mid-March, though not all are workers losing their jobs for the first time. In California, workers who were rehired but subsequently let go once coronavirus cases rose again represented more than half of new claims in the week ending July 25th. Continuing claims, workers who have been collecting benefits for at least 2 weeks, a better proxy for current unemployment, fell by 844,000 to 16.1 million. When benefits provided under a stimulus provision capturing gig economy and self-employed workers are included, total claims rise to 32.1 million. The July jobs report comes out this morning. There is a lot of variability in projections, but forecasts average to predict a 10.6% drop in unemployment, down from 11.1% in June, and growth in jobs of about 1.7 million. False positive in Ohio. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, Republican, tested negative for the coronavirus last evening after testing positive earlier in the day. The first result, using a quicker but less accurate method, came shortly before he was expected to host President Trump on a visit to the state. The false positive is emblematic of the larger problem of accurate testing across the country, though experts say false negatives are more consequential since infected patients are then more likely to spread the virus. Oh yes, let's just ignore the possibility that perhaps thousands of your total case count could be wrong. DeWine was an early advocate for precautions like face masks and social distancing and had reported no symptoms. Trump's visit to Ohio included the announcement of an executive order encouraging the federal government to purchase certain drugs and medical supplies only from U.S. factories. That's probably a good thing. The directive may have a significant impact on the pharmaceutical industry and its complex supply chains, though the Food and Drug Administration must first determine which drugs will be subject to the order. Separately, Senate Republicans have largely withdrawn from negotiations on a Phase 4 coronavirus stimulus bill, letting the White House negotiate directly with House Democrats. Leaders on both sides have alternately said talks have stalled while predicting a deal as soon as next week. A $600 per week boost to unemployment, now at the center of the talks, expired last week. Just fucking give it up. We need people to go back to work. See differences between the Republican and Democrat proposals here. A surge in U.S. coronavirus cases seen in late July appears to have reversed course, though officials warn a continued uptick in deaths, which has averaged over 1,000 per day recently, allegedly, is expected. The U.S. has reported 4.88 million total cases, allegedly, as of this morning, with 160,104 alleged deaths. See how your state is doing here. Clemson tops preseason polls. The first USA Today college football coaches poll was released yesterday, with Clemson slated to enter a season full of uncertainty as the nation's top-ranked team. The Tigers, led by phenom quarterback Trevor Lawrence, fell to LSU in last year's national championship. Ohio State, who lost to Clemson in last year's semifinals, sits in the number 2 spot, followed by Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. The sports' major conferences are proceeding as if the season will take place, while acknowledging the coronavirus may force a change in plans. The Power 5 conferences, the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, and Pac-12 have effectively canceled all major out-of-conference games and dramatically reshuffled schedules. Many stadiums will be empty, and players have banded together to voice safety concerns. Football-related revenues account for more than half of the average athletic department budget at Power 5 schools, and the teams could lose a collective $4 billion if the season is canceled. The first games are, for now, scheduled for August 29th. See the full slate here. Players have banded together to voice safety concerns. Do they honestly think that anybody is unaware of the fucking safety concerns? And it's not just about that, it's also about the social justice. In the Know, sports, entertainment, and culture. Brought to you by In the Wild. More than 60 NFL players opt out of season over coronavirus concerns. Union says 56 NFL players have tested positive for COVID-19. MLB and Players Union agree on new safety protocols, including season-long ban for rule breakers. Oh, brother. Amazon greenlights A League of Their Own reboot series. Well, that's gonna fucking suck. Tony-winning actor Brent Carver dies at 68. Every single time they remake anything classic, especially something that already involved a lot of women, it is just awful. Awful, awful, awful. There's no way that I'm ever going to watch that. Paul Talegdi out as NBC Entertainment chairman following accusations of sexist and racist behavior. Grammy-winning producer Detail arrested on 15 sexual assault charges. What went wrong, what went right, and what can you learn to make it out safely if confronted with disaster in the depths of the wilderness? Check out In the Wild for true and gripping tales of survival, tragedy, and triumph. Listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Science and technology. Electrical brain measurements show placebos reduce emotional distress even if those taking them know the treatment is a placebo. Tests reveal wireless charging, an increasingly popular way to recharge smartphones, consumes nearly 50% as much energy to refill the battery as a conventional cord charger. Funny. Scientists decode the genome of the Does that mean 50% less or 50% more? Consumes nearly 50% as much energy. So the energy of a conventional cord charger plus 50%. That's what I thought it meant. Because if it was the other way around, then it would say consumes nearly 50% less energy to refill the battery, is it? Okay, it's just seems like strange wording. Scientists decode the genome of the tuatara, the last living species of an order of reptiles that flourished during the Mesozoic era. Neat. Business and markets. U.S. quarterly household debt declines for first time in 6 years as consumers reduced non-essential spending amid lockdown. Epic Games, maker of massively popular Fortnite video game, raises $1.78 billion at $17 billion valuation. Nintendo sees profits surge 428% as video game consumption booms. Uber's second quarter revenues fall 29% as ride-sharing falls 75%, but Uber Eats food delivery doubles. That's not surprising. Politics and world affairs. White House applies 10% tariffs on raw aluminum imports from Canada. Move comes 1 month after a new free trade agreement was signed between the two countries and Mexico. I wonder what the reason is. Cheap hydroelectric power gives Canada an edge in aluminum production. New York Attorney General Letitia James files a lawsuit to dissolve the National Rifle Association. Oh, that's what seriously? She thinks she's gonna do that? Alleging the group committed fraud by misusing $64 million in charitable donations. Good luck with that. President Trump signs executive order banning transactions with ByteDance, the Chinese parent of video sharing platform TikTok, in 45 days over national security concerns. Microsoft currently in talks to buy TikTok. In depth. Simone Biles would like to thank herself. That sounds super obnoxious. From Vice. In a world where the panic never happened, last week likely would have seen Simone Biles claim her second straight Olympic gold in the women's gymnastic all-around competition, the first to do so since 1968. I think all the other gymnasts who would have been competing against her would take umbrage with that claim. Number fever, from Bloomberg Businessweek. In 1992, a simple $1 million marketing stunt led to full-fledged chaos after an error at a processing plant led to hundreds of thousands of winners. Life after Zoom, from Wired UK. Video conferencing has been one of the success stories during the panic, but is remote working here to stay? I'm sure it probably is for some people. The Last of the Zoroastrians, from Guardian. A glimpse inside India's Zoroastrian community, one of the world's oldest still practicing religions, as its numbers rapidly dwindle. Guessing that has something to do with the stars, etc. The physics of the Beirut explosion. And this bride's photo shoot was interrupted by the blast. Why hitting a baseball is the hardest feat in sports. I feel that is a dubious claim. Support 1440. For the price of a cup of coffee per month, you can help support 1440. Check out our Patreon page for details. Oakley celebrates 20 years of over-the-top glasses with literal over-the-top glasses. Ranking Europe's 25 best beaches. The countries where women are forbidden from taking their husband's name. Well, that sounds awful and oppressive. Caesar, the no-drama llama, is here to calm tensions. 9-year-old Florida boy saves father after a diving accident. Clickbait. Advice for escaping bears and ending friendships. Okay. I can picture that. History book. Nobel Peace Prize winner Ralph Bunche, born 1904. Happy birthday actress Charlize Theron, 1975. Operation Desert Shield preps U.S. to enter Gulf War, 1990. U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania are bombed, killing 224 and wounding 4,500, 1998. Rest in peace, journalist Peter Jennings, 2005. Hearts are the strongest when they beat in response to noble ideals. Ralph Bunche. Bunch. That's very fluffy. Very fluffy quote. And that's all for 1440 and Sundry News. Thank you and goodbye.